Hi, I'm Judy Vitale, your astrologer with ReadTheStars.com, here with your weekly horoscopes at work for May 29th through June 4th, 2017. Yeah, we're back from a wild ride to Sedona. It was an awesome trip and good to be back in the Berg, however. Let me tell you about your week. There's going to be a dance going on involving Venus and Mars. They're not especially going to be right together because right now Venus is in Aries and Mars is at the end of Gemini. However, they're going to be interacting with two very important planets, Saturn and Uranus. Saturn for structure and Uranus for the opposite of structure. Uranus for like insanity and craziness. So there's going to be a lot of wild action this week, especially on the romantic front. So if you're involved in a romance, look for some, it could be some good wild times ahead. As for the work situation, Venus and Mars usually means our relationships, our camaraderie with our colleagues, the way that we relate to our clients. And so there could be a lot of activity around that this week as well. But at the end of the week, Mars will move into Cancer. And at that point, our aggressive energy will be less assertive and more on the order of let me help you kind of stuff rather than how can I walk over you. It's kind of nice. Mars and Cancer can be nice, but it can also be sublimated. So there are times when you might need to be assertive. Please do be assertive. Don't beat around the bush. That's the warning with Mars and Cancer. So let's begin by talking about Monday, May 29th, Memorial Day. And there'll be a short void, of course, moon period. It only lasts on the East Coast between 2:59 a.m. and 8:12 a.m. And then we're going to have Mars making an opposition to Saturn. This means that there will be things that have to be done and things that people want to have done. It can be quite explosive. So those family gatherings, those picnics where everybody's supposed to be cooperating could be a little bit disrupted by this energy. Our jobs as people who know what's going on in the sky our job is to just kind of allow people to have their say and to also insist, however, that certain structures are kept in place so that we don't have chaos. We don't need chaos in a holiday that really isn't about hot dogs and hamburgers anyway. It's about remembering people who gave everything so that we could be free to have a day off. The moon will go into Leo at 8:12 a.m., so the whole mood on Memorial Day is going to be a little bit bombastic too, so keep that in mind. That bombastic mood will continue on Tuesday with the moon in Leo and Mars in a sextile with Uranus, so there's going to be a cooperation with the wild energy of Uranus from the assertive energy of Mars. There's going to be a lot of activity. That's going to occur exactly at 10:38 p.m. on Tuesday night, but all day you're going to feel this energy. Wednesday, the moon will be in Leo to begin with, but at 7:14 a.m. on the East Coast, it will go into a void of course state, and not until 12:16 p.m. will it go into Virgo. So that time between 7:14 and 12:16 on Wednesday morning is going to be a period of time that is not conducive to making decisions, having meetings, making purchases, that sort of thing. Try to put that off until after the void of course moon period is over. Mercury will make a trine to Jupiter, but to Pluto at 8 o'clock a.m. on Wednesday. And that's going to be very useful for putting our thoughts together and making powerful presentations. But again, keep it to yourself until after 12:16 p.m. Thursday, moon in Virgo, good for organizing, good for dealing with details. Venus will be in a trine with Saturn on Thursday, so that means that our emotions will be very organized and people will be expressing their feelings rather openly and in a way that is structured, and so you might hear things from people and be a little surprised that they're expressing emotions in words rather than sublimating them or hiding them or bursting out with them. This is a really good time to find out how people are feeling about things. If you wanted to test out a reaction to a product or a project, this would be a good time. Friday, the Virgo moon continues for most of the day until 5:48 p.m., at which time we'll have a void of course period until 8:04 p.m. when the moon enters Libra. On Saturday, a little bit more action. Venus in a conjunction with Uranus. Wild stuff. Very, very romantic and can be very exciting. The sun will also be in a trine with Jupiter, so that will be beautiful for any kind of social activity and also for business. And the moon will be conjunct with Jupiter on Saturday. So that, the moon in Libra will be conjunct Jupiter, and that's just a really good time for feeling good and feeling expansive and lucky, and doing more than we think we can to really put out our ambitions and go after them. Finally, on Sunday, we still have the moon in Libra, and we'll have the sun square Neptune. This is very dreamy. It's a great day for just lazing and looking at the sunshine, and hopefully we'll have some, and it'll be lovely. And then that's also the day that Mars enters Cancer at 12:16 p.m. So you'll feel a little bit of a shift from that mental energy of Gemini into like a calmer, but also like a more needy. The Cancer energy can be very needy. So you'll hear about people's neediness while Mars is in Cancer for the next several weeks. As for my whereabouts this week, I'm doing something very exciting. I'm going to take yoga teacher training, and that's going to be from June 1st to June 30th during the daytimes. I'm still available to have consultations with people during the evening hours, so don't hesitate to contact me if you're still interested in doing that. I'm certainly interested in helping you. On Sunday, June 4th, Dancing Mindfulness at Green Eris, taught by the wonderful Jamie Marich. She'll be coming in from Ohio and teaching us how to dance in a meditative state. So if you're interested in that, please contact Green Eris at greenerisholistic.health.com, and they'll help you out there. And then my partner Jasa Johnson and I will be recording a new Deep Dives for podcast this week with our guest Tom Gelati, who's from the Wellness Institute. He is a wonderful spiritual practitioner, and he'll be telling us all about father energy as well as some of the work that he does with his clients. So we'll be having that posted all over the place. It'll be on readthestars.com and all the different Facebook portals, especially our Deep Dives page. Make sure you go and have a look at that on Facebook and on Twitter as well. So until next week, I remain your astrologer. As always, if you'd like to contact me for transpersonal coaching, if you would like to contact me for astrology, or for clinical hypnotherapy, you can find me at Judy, Judi, at readthestars.com.